Okay, so here's phase 8 video notes. So the directions for each picture of f of x given, find f of 4. Okay, so this means the actual function value at 4, which means when x is 4, what's y? Part B, the limit as x approaches 4 from the left of f of x. C is from the right, and then D is just the limit. Not from the left or right, but just the limit, which basically means approaching from both left and right. Okay, so for this first one, f of 4. So when x is 4, what is y? 3. Okay, so this answer for A is 3 because of the filled in dot. Part B, so 4 from the left. As x is approaching 4 from the left, what is y approaching? So 4 from the left. Okay, so if you look at this sequence of points, their y values are approaching -1. Now I've got to do 4 from the right. Okay, so these y values are approaching 3. Now for part D, what is the limit? Well, guys, in order for the limit at as x approaches 4, in order for that to exist, the left hand and right hand limit have to exist and be the same. So this one does not exist. Okay, now this next one. So f of 4, I'm looking for the filled in dot. So when x is 4, y is 6. So that means that f of 4 is 6. Part B, I want to approach 4 from the left. So I'm looking at that sequence of points. Their y values are approaching 6. Now from the right, this sequence of points, their y values are approaching 10. So again, the limit does not exist because the left and right hand limits don't exist. Okay, this time when x is 4, y is 0 because I'm looking for that filled in dot. Okay, approaching 4 from the left. The y's are approaching -7. Approaching 4 from the right. The y's are approaching -7. So that means that the limit itself is -7. All right, because the left hand and right hand limits are both -7. So the limit itself is -7. Now part A. So what is f of 4? When x is 4, y is, guys, it's not 5 because this empty circle is at the location 4, 5, but there's a hole in the graph there, which means it's undefined. So you could say does not exist, or you could say undefined. I'll say undefined. Okay, so approaching from the left. All right, now even though the y value doesn't exist here, this sequence of y values is still getting closer and closer and closer to 5. So remember, we ask what's the number that we're getting closer and closer and closer and closer to. So even though this y value itself doesn't exist or is undefined, the y values, this sequence of y values is approaching 5. Okay, and then from the right, the same. So that means that the limit is 5. Right? Okay, so this time f of 4 is 3. Part B, that sequence of points, their y values are approaching 3. This sequence of points, the y values are approaching 3. So that means that the limit is 3. Okay, part A. Guys, this is an asymptote. This is a vertical asymptote. So this function is going to be undefined at x equals 4 because you can't cross a vertical asymptote. Yeah, so I'll say undefined. So f at 4 is undefined. When x is 4, there is no y value on this graph that corresponds to that. So when x is approaching 4 from the left, those y values are shooting up to positive infinity. They're just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And then from the right, the y values are shooting down to negative infinity. Now, if these were both positive infinity, I could say the limit itself is positive infinity. If they were both negative infinity, I could say the limit itself is negative infinity. But if one is positive infinity, one is negative infinity, then we say the limit does not exist. Okay, infinity is a form of does not exist because there's not a single number we're getting closer and closer to, but not passing. Um, but yeah, but there's but this but usually when we say D and E, it means that these two don't match. Okay, if they match, then we say the limit is that. If they don't match, then we say the limit does not exist. Okay.